Good evening and welcome to the first Elections Live show for the Student Executive Elections 2021. It is very exciting, and every single show this evening and the evenings to come will cover all of the highlights from all of the candidates. They will cover interviews as well and much more. You are joined by myself and Raphael. And welcome to the Elections Live show, Friday the 6th of May, for what is going to be one of the most exciting weeks for Students' Union and Loughborough University. Today I am joined by Raphael. Hi, how are you doing?
Hi Rosie, I'm really excited to be here. It's my first time, so I'm really excited to be here. Like you said, it's a really important week for these candidates. Everything is going to be totally different from last year, all about digital campaign. So I'm really excited, really.
Yeah, and it's going to be a new challenge for all of the candidates as well. As you said, you know, we're going to have less candidates than what we had last year.
Yeah, last year we had 22. This year we have 14 candidates. A big change.
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to stop them campaigning as best as they possibly can.
Of course not, yeah.
And we've already seen some amazing stuff coming out from the candidates, so it's going to be amazing. Now, last night we saw the live reveal when the candidates were finally shown to all of us. So we're just going to take you through all of them and what they are running for. So starting off with section chairs. Enterprise, we've got Cameron Glenwright, who is our current media chair, going up against Nathan Chan. Now for societies, we have Seth Johnson, who ran last year as VP but is deciding this year to run for societies. And then we have two rerunners. We've got Hetty Borden going for rag chair, and she's our current rag chair. And then we have Jodie Evans for Action. Now for executive officers, we've got Education up first. We've got Eleanor Bishop going up against Thomas Young. Vice President, we've got Liam Dixon going up against Charlotte Style. And our presidents, Gabbo going up against Freya Mason. And last but not least, we have our welfare and diversity officers, Alex Marlowe, who is our current officer, going up against Jean Cameron. It's going to be very exciting, isn't it?
Very exciting. We're going to talk with them this year. Tonight we're going to talk with them, but first let me introduce you and let me invite you to watch with us Alex Marlowe music's video, our first guest of tonight. Let's take a look.
One more vote, have your say, 1 year more.
Alex, oh my God, that was such a good video. Hello, we currently have him. Alex, are you there?
Hello, hello. Yes, I am here. Can you see? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
How are you?
Brilliant. Well, I'm feeling, after hearing that harmony beamed into this little room, I'm feeling slightly embarrassed, but also pretty good. So it's lovely to meet you.
You have a great voice.
Oh, bless you. I didn't expect compliments this early, my goodness.
Okay, first question. How are you finding rerunning this year? Because, of course, you have to rely on social media now, and you're getting involved with TikTok and music videos. How's that all going for you?
Well, I've got to admit, I'm definitely not a social media expert, which is where having a team that firstly believes in you, but is also fairly competent in social media has been absolutely essential. But it is a bit of a weird process this year, having done, I guess, a normal elections last year, this one being purely online. There are so many differences, some that I'm glad for, some which I'm figuring my head around, like hashtags for TikTok so that you can see it on your page more. I've got no idea, but I'm being very expertly guided.
What are you going to do if you go viral on one of your TikToks?
Well, I don't think we can count on that, so I think I'll be fine.
Great. And besides your great voice, we could hear that. You also said that you have an absolute passion for welfare and diversity. Was that a reason for you to rerun this year?
Absolutely. I mean, so I've always been involved in sort of grassroots activism. I started in the LGBT+ association here at Loughborough. And you know, doing the role last year, you have to be a generalist. You have to be very, very competent in lots of different equality or equity, diversity, and inclusion matters. And I just have this sort of passion and desire to make the little microcosm of Loughborough that we're existing in a little bit better for absolutely everybody, no matter who or what they are. And these positions are a fantastic opportunity to do that. And I know you can make meaningful change. I know you can do that. So I'd like to do it again this year.
That's great. We need that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned in your live reveal last night that Loughborough has become a home away from home. Is that something that you're trying to include again in your manifesto this year?
Absolutely. I mean, that concept of home away from home was certainly very true for me, but sadly might not be true for everyone. So I think it's really important that we, both as an organisation, Loughborough Students' Union, but also as individuals who will be, you know, elected to represent students, we are making a collaborative effort to go, do you know what, it's not 100% perfect for everybody here. So we need to be making a proper effort to make sure that it is everybody's home away from home, and to understand that that process takes time, but we need to start doing it now. We need to start making changes now so that it's better in the future.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Last but not least, what are your plans for this week and campaign week? What have you got planned? You can give us hints. You can give us hints.
Okay, well, as you will have had beamed into your ears, my music video, of course, was released. But I'm hoping to release some more video content, whether that's having people who, you know, very kindly believe in what I'm running for and running on, to whether that's slightly comedic content that I'm trying my hand on with TikTok, and trying to do that social media influencer thing of having different types of content for different types of platform. It's a really, really, really strange, exciting, fun way to run a campaign. But I guess I can just say, expect a variety and expect plenty of it.
Brilliant.
Great.
Alex, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much,
we wish
Alex.
you the best of luck. Have a wonderful week. We will see you probably later on results night.
Thank you so much for having me. Much appreciated.
No problem. Thank
No
you.
problem. And of course, just talking about media, of course, we don't have a media chair running this year. So, you know, for you, you're going to be going into second year, but of course, this is your first year in media.
Yeah, it's my first year. It's my first year in media. I'm loving every moment of today. It's been a totally amazing experience. I'm really enjoying being here. Thank you for being my partner today.
No problem.
I'm really enjoying it being here.
Yeah, and what are you studying currently?
I'm studying communication and media.
Oh, cool.
So this is really what I want to do in the future. So let me just grab every experience that I can to just gain experience and gain experience and gain experience.
Cool. That's going to be the same for a lot of first years this year. How have you found being a first year here at Loughborough?
I cannot lie. It was really difficult to be away from home without my family, with just online lectures. It has been really, really difficult, but it is what it is. We just need to accept it and put ourselves in the correct mood to say, okay, we cannot do nothing to avoid this. So just this is what it is. So
yeah, exactly. But you know, you've got a lot to look forward to next year. Unfortunately, I'm graduating soon, which is such a shame because I won't be able to do these next year. But you know, we'll make do with what we make do. But of course, you're going to experience the new Students' Union, which is currently being renovated downstairs, and it's going to be. It's like mid-May or something when it's going to come out, so that's very exciting. You're going to actually get to experience a student night out.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. Now, up next, we're going to be talking to another one of the candidates that is running up against Alex Marlowe, and that is Jean Cameron. So let's take a look at her manifesto.
My name is Jean Cameron, and I'm running for the Welfare and Diversity Executive Officer position. I'm running because I thought it would be a good opportunity to gain this kind of experience working within a team, and I think welfare and diversity is for me quite a big thing within university. I think a lot of people would benefit a lot from different events that help with well-being and including everyone, because there's so many different people in university that need to be represented. I'm dynamic, and I think I can definitely represent different groups. I'm I grew up in Ghana, and I met a whole lot of different people, and I traveled from there to here and had to kind of adapt to different cultures. So I really can, I'm able to see other points of view and different perspectives, and really be able to communicate differently with different people. So I think that is a good reason to vote for me.
I believe we have Jean Cameron with us now. Hi, Jean, can you hear me?
Hi, yes, I can hear you.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you guys?
Yeah, we're good, thank
Good,
you.
thank
It's an
you.
exciting start to the week for you, is it?
Yeah, very exciting. I had the social medias up recently, so that was very exciting.
Yeah, by the way, let me say you smashed singing Beyonce. You smashed it. Let me just say that. It was great.
Wow, thank you so much.
But in terms of your manifesto,
Yeah.
obviously you mentioned that you want to support international students because you mentioned obviously Loughborough is like a home away from home for you, and you know, for international students they might feel homesick as well. Why is this important to you?
Well, as an international student myself, I've kind of had that experience, so I kind of know what it feels like being away from home and then trying to kind of figure out how I can bring home to Loughborough, kind of the experiences I can have to kind of, you know, have that kind of nostalgic feel of being back home. And Loughborough is really like a community that I've integrated in quite well and found different, like even within the societies, like I actually enjoyed my first year, luckily before COVID and everything. So got to really meet new people and have those experiences that really made me kind of integrate into the Loughborough community.
Yeah, we also saw in your manifesto that you want to do sip and paint. Can you just tell everybody who's watching at the moment what sip and paint is?
So sip and paint is basically, you can get non-alcoholic or alcoholic drinks if you like, and just sit down and have a canvas in front of you and paint whatever your heart desires, or you could like have a template of what you would want to paint. Just a really relaxing time where you can just bring your friends along and can be done outside. I mean, especially with these restrictions, you can very easy to do that and just sit back, relax, and paint. I think paint is really therapeutic, just anything without like a deadline.
Yeah,
I love it. That would be good, isn't it?
Yeah.
How are the current deadlines going for you? Of course, it's second year, but how are they going alongside all of the elections?
It's been challenging finding that balance because, yeah, there's a lot on our plate, especially during these times with deadlines coming up. I think it's definitely still a learning curve. I think in second year, you really kind of moving more towards finding that balance between the social life and different commitments that just come your way. I think it's really preparing me for just normal life in general. So I think even though it's challenging, I'm still trying to see kind of what I can learn from during the process, and it's yeah.
That's wicked. What have you got
Great.
lined up for this week then in terms of social media, and what have you got lined up?
Tell us everything.
Well, I do want to surprise people, so I won't go into too much
Nice.
detail,
That's
but
great.
there are some very creative stuff coming up, different kind of videos, and just introducing myself and what I'm about and what my message is. And yeah, stay tuned.
Oh, Jean, well, we wish you the best of luck for this.
Thank
We will
you.
look forward to seeing you on results night.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now,
See you.
we're going to have a look at what LSU Media did last year with the presidential candidates. They put together a nice little documentary for us, so let's have a look at what the presidential candidates got up to last year.
Hello and welcome to the live reveal for the exec elections 2020.
I now declare the exec elections 2020 are open. You are now free to campaign.
The campaign did not get a ban. Me as an individual did get a ban.
We have a very strict rule book which candidates are expected to follow.
Hello, I'm Callum Park.
Hello, my name is Matt Youngs.
This is the story of the Loughborough Students' Union Executive Elections 2020.
We followed the highs and lows of the election process for the two presidential candidates, Matt Youngs and Callum Park.
So the executive elections are used to elect our sabbatical officers for the year. These sabbatical officers have to be elected as they represent the student view at the highest possible level throughout the university and the union. The reality of these sabbatical positions is that they can have a big influence and impact on the way the university decides to do things and the way we choose to operate as a union. I am Darcy Dunn. I run the LSU Executive Elections. I am the Vice President and the Acting Returning Officer.
Live reveal's only 3 days away. How are you feeling?
Good, yeah, good. Quietly confident. It's at this point in time where you suddenly start running through everything in your head and start thinking, oh, have I forgotten that? Is this where it needs to be? Have I sent this off? But so far that brief crisis hasn't happened yet, so no, we're happy.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. I'm in a really good mindset. It's come around very quickly. It's been a challenge this year, having to balance what is basically a full-time role, is, and more, alongside doing all campaign prep. So as a result, I'm working a lot in the evening. There is very much a brand that you've got to build up around your candidate, and it's a case of how much does your brand reflect the demographic of students on campus? How much are students willing to engage with your brand? And simply, is it eye-catching enough?
And what do you think your biggest challenge is in the race?
I think biggest challenge is proving that I'm capable of what's required in the role. I think prove that I've got what it takes and deserve to be elected by the students across campus. So that's the biggest challenge for me.
Without coming across as arrogant, there isn't much I'm fearing. There is the fear of the unknown, simply because it is contested, as it should be. If any of the roles on exec should be contested in the elections, it is president. And if I were to be uncontested in a role like president, I wouldn't feel like I'd been properly elected on a mandate from students. That doesn't mean that I'm not apprehensive, because students have a very diverse range of views, and it takes a very strong candidate to be able to tap into every single one of those views.
And then last one, do you feel ready?
Yeah, we do. I do. The team does. I think I do. I think we'll find out if we're actually ready during the week. But no, we feel ready. I think everything's in place. I just kind of want to get going now. I just don't really like the waiting about a bit now. We just want to get going and want to get into it.
So yeah, I'm just ready to go. I can't wait for this time tomorrow when it will be live reveal. I'm really excited to get my face out there, and excited to see what everyone else is doing as well in their campaigns.
As a candidate, you're not actually allowed to tell people that you're running until it's announced and campaigning starts. So shortly we'll be revealing our candidates to the whole of the Loughborough University cohort, and the way we'll be doing that is calling their name out and bringing them out into the main piazza with all the campaign teams downstairs, basically to reveal them as big as we possibly can.
Hello and welcome to the live reveal for the Exec Elections 2020.
Are you ready to meet the candidates? Okay. Your final role to be revealed is, of course, the boss, the president. It's a new decade with new ideas. This candidate's been a hall chair twice for Claudia Parsons and the whole. Oh, and did you know he raps? It's Callum Park. But by no means least, our current welfare executive officer, looking to deliver first-class change for you. Give it up for Mr. Matt Young! Your candidate for the 2020 exec election!
Tell us a little bit about why you're not currently out there campaigning. Did you or did you not get a ban?
The campaign did not get a ban. Me as an individual did get a ban. A few months ago, I sent round a message asking people to register their interest, and very carefully worded it, but was picked up on the fact that it came across as collaborating with another potential candidate.
Sure, but do you think it's affected you in any way or not?
It was really frustrating. It was frustrating because it hit at a really critical time. It was just when election prep was gearing up. It was very frustrating. The nuances of it, I still don't particularly agree with, but it's one of those things where sort of lose a battle but win the war.
What are you most excited about releasing? Anything you've got hidden away that you think is going to be quite good?
We've got, without wanting to say too much, we've got a musical item that will hopefully be going out over the course of the week without wanting to reveal too much. So yeah, we're looking forward to getting that out.
Communication, culture and construction are the key points for this exec candidate known as...
Communication is the first point. More face-to-face and virtual chat with students if you vote for. Construction is the next one. I'll keep designing the new union building for the next students. They'd love a new place.
The second event, probably the scariest one for our candidates, is the soapbox. But the idea of the soapbox is we bring them in and they sit on one of these chairs here.
We are here for the big one. It's the presidential soapbox, one I'm sure people have been waiting nearly 10 hours of soapbox to see, but we finally made it after that very, very long VP one. I am joined by the wonderful Callum Parks and wonderful Matthew Youngs.
Hello, I'm Callum Park and I'm running to be Loughborough Students' Union President.
Hello, my name is Matt Youngs and I'm running to be your next President of Loughborough Students' Union.
During the soapbox, we like to have the most rigorous questions possible, and often they're from the public. We get lots of tweets in on the day, and students ask their own questions. We also have people on a panel, so experts and former executive officers that come down and are asking questions to the candidates. And finally, we also look at their manifestos and really try and dig deep into the reasons of why they're running and whether they'll be any good.
The current president, the person who is in the role that you are running for, has said that one of your points is unattainable and cannot be done.
No, I think that the idea, firstly, I believe the idea can be achieved, and if it can't, I believe we can adapt it.
Okay, we've got a question just come in from social media. Which section would you remove?
I would probably have to say AU Clubs Officer.
So I'm not going to provide you with an answer now, because it's not a decision an individual makes, it's a decision a team makes.
And of course, that is it. We are done with the soapbox. That is the end of the soapbox elections 2020.
Lastly, results night is probably the biggest night for the candidates throughout the whole elections. So results night, we bring them in, we put them on stage and we read out how many votes they got live.
And finally, we have our presidential candidates. Please welcome to the stage your first candidate. It's Callum Park. Please welcome to the stage your second candidate. It's Matt Youngs. In the first round, Callum, you received 1,488 votes. Matt, you received 1,701 votes. No one met the quota in the first round, and Ron has been eliminated. Callum, in the second round, you received 1,506 votes. Matt, you received 1,727 votes. Matt, you are duly elected as Union President. In your executive elections of 2020, thank you.
Matt, how are you feeling? Congratulations.
Thank you, I'm over the moon. It hasn't quite sunk in yet. Give it 24, 48 hours, it will absolutely sink in. I can't believe it at the moment, I cannot believe it.
How have you found campaigning this week?
Absolutely loved it. Obviously I'd been through the whole process before, but this time I was contested, so it was an extra challenge, an added incentive. But I mean, absolutely credit to Callum. He was the perfect competitor for me. We got on so well. Both of us would have been excellent in the role, and I'm just so happy, so happy.
Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. that's kind of what the elections are about, literally putting yourself in kind of the public sphere and just allowing people to have their opinion on what you're about. And that's when you know that you're in the position for the right reason, because if you're doing it to push your agenda, just don't run. It will get changed. So run for the right reasons and don't be afraid to put yourself out there.
There you go, a little summary of what happened last year, and we are currently joined by one of the candidates that ran last year and won. It is our current VP, Vajiro. Vajiro, are you there?
I am. I'm hoping you can see me.
Yeah, we can see you.
How
we can
are
hear you.
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much, Raphael.
That's great.
It's no problem. Thank you very much for joining us.
Of course.
First things first, after the live reveal last night, obviously we saw all of the candidates. What do you think of them all this year?
Well, as I said yesterday, I'm really, really impressed with how enthusiastic and passionate they are about the union, how many sort of different ideas and visions they have for the next year. It's always really wonderful to see people so invested in doing good for other people, obviously through the work that they want to do for students. So that's been really, really wonderful.
Yeah, and you ran last year in a very, very competitive election. So what kind of advice would you give to this year candidates?
I think there's obviously winning is a very complicated thing. There's a lot of moving parts and a lot of things that go into it. But I think something that really helped me is that I was very mindful that I always let that passion and enthusiasm flow. I was super excited every chance I got to talk to someone, to present, to stand in front of a camera, to release a video. And I think I consistently ensured that my passion for the Students' Union, my ideas, and why I thought my ideas were important, I always made sure that was conveyed in the best way possible. So that probably would be my advice. And make sure that your passion and your vision shines through.
Wicked. And of course, it's been a tough year for you as well. You know, you probably wanted a better year to be vice president. How have you found this year with everything that's been going on?
Well, of course, it's been an interesting year. There's been certain difficulties and certain opportunities as well that have come from this year. I think I've had a really, really wonderful set of colleagues, both the permanent staff members, people, student volunteers, and people I've worked with throughout the year who sort of really banded together and have continued to focus on making this one of the best student experiences in the country. So I think that sort of conjoined and sort of collective passion to continue to be so excellent and providing opportunities for our students, I think that's really been the thing that's carried me through the year. It has been different, it has been difficult at times, but it's been exciting. It's been really interesting.
Yeah, cool. And of course, you are a acting returning officer for all of the students. What is that role? Before I speak about the ARO, the returning officer essentially is an official who ensures that the elections are run in a free and fair manner. So typically the returning officer is someone external to the organization who can have an entirely impartial and unbiased view. However, because of the fact that they are external and not here consistently, there is need for an official on ground who sort of consistently interacts with the elections and the candidates and the entire process and ensures that the elections are being run in the free and fair way and acts as the returning officer on ground. So that's what my role is. I am the acting returning officer. However, in all issues, the returning officer will have the final say on whether or not the election has actually been run in a free and fair manner and will typically produce a report at the end of the entire process. But I act in his stead while he is not able to be here. Cool. And of course, tomorrow and over the weekend, it is Soapbox time, one that is very, very important for all of the candidates. What was your experience of Soapbox last year?
Well, Soapbox is also always a really interesting part of the elections because it's obviously very nervy and very anxious. You obviously get a few thousand students who will view the Soapbox at some point during the election week. So you want to obviously portray your best self. I think something that really stuck out to me was that what you really need is to have a basis through which you're speaking. Obviously, your vision for the union, your understanding of the union, your understanding of the role you're running for, your understanding of what you want to have, what you want to achieve the next year. And all the answers just tend to flow out of that. So it can be a new sort of question or a new sort of situation that's posed to you. But as long as you're coming from that same sort of vantage point, that same understanding of what you want to do and what the union is and what it does for students, usually that shines through. And I think it helps you have a much more consistent message with all your answers and all your marketing and all your messages, all your messaging that you're putting out throughout the week. So that would be my advice for the election candidates, and that's something I found really helped me.
Sure, I think they're going to find that really, really helpful. Thank you very much for Jiro. Now, talking of Soapbox, let's have a look at what actually happens in Soapbox.
The Soapbox is back once again for the executive elections this year. I'm Josh Gray, and you'll remember me from such shows as The Soapbox.
Hello, and welcome to The Soapbox.
And The Soapbox.
Hello and welcome to The Soapbox. We're back again for another year of executive elections debates.
Tune in on Saturday and Sunday from 3 p.m. to find out more about your candidates running this year in the executive elections.
And that will be happening over this weekend, 8th of May, 9th of May. Make sure you go and check it out because you'll hear all about the candidates, but you'll hear all about all of the other things that they're doing, and you'll find out a lot more about what they can offer you for your next year. Now, that is all from us this evening. Thank you very much, Raphael, for joining.
Thank you so much, Rosie, for having me here. It was really a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Loughborough University Student Union Media, for letting me having this opportunity. Thank you, Rosie, again. Thank you for you too, who has been watching us for the last 30 minutes. Stay protected, stay safe, and see you next time. Bye bye.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.